So we are almost done with the calculated columns, the columns that we wanted to create, although maybe we're going to create few more depending on our requirement later on. What I'm going to talk about now is related to measures, but because measure is something which will actually change your perspective entirely towards Power BI, there is something very important concept we have to discuss before we jump into the pool of measures, and that is going to be understanding what type of context we have in Power BI. Okay, so for this I'll simply go over there into the report view. I'll simply say Control A, and I'm going to delete everything that we have onto this page because I don't need anything. Now I will be creating a fresh matrix. If you see, this is the one, although I'm going to talk about that in detail later on. But during those measures that we are going to create, we need to create couple of visualization just to match the value, just to check the value that are coming up after performing the calculations are right or not. Okay, so it's always better, it's good to have a look at those values. So I'm just creating one matrix here, and I'm going to put something like let me show you. First of all, it's going to be order quantity, right? Look at that. This is very interesting. I'm just dropping this order quantity into the values, correct? What do you see right now? You see the entire order quantity sold, which is 84,174. This is the total order quantity which has been sold throughout. This is the total one, right? Now, that is fine. This is the total order quantity sold. But the moment you are going to put any field into the rows, I'll show you, or maybe in columns. Suppose I'll just come over here and put in subcategory name. Okay, randomly, just I'm just picking up. You can also pick anything else. I'm just putting up this subcategory name here, and look what will happen. I'm just dropping it right now, and there we go. The entire total order quantity got filtered based on the item or the value which has been mentioned here. It's not value, basically it is just a field or an item. You can see this is what is happening over here. By the way, it was actually 84,000 the total order quantity sold, but the moment something is here, so these fields are so dynamic because they are following one concept over here that is known as filter context. They are reacting to a filter context. Now, do not keep that as a very hard or a heavy concept. It's very simple, that the moment it sees something, any field, what this order quantity value is doing, it is actually going back to the products table and this subcategory table, and now it is checking the relationship, and it has a relationship. If I by any chance remove or delete the relationship between subcategory and product, and you know that product is connected to sales, if I remove the relationship between them with the sales table, you again will see the same value 84,000 throughout mentioned. Because there is a relationship, it is actually going back to the sales and filtering down, concentrate on my words here, filtering down the entire table based on that field. So the entire sales table has been filtered down based on bike racks, and ultimately we are getting the order quantity sold only for the bike racks, and so on and so forth. Got it? So this is what we call a filter context. Another concept that we have, and it will change if it has a relationship, it will definitely change. If you see over here, if I simply come I also want to show you, suppose I'll come over here and just drop a product name, right? Product name in the rows, and I'll simply remove this subcategory. Now you'll see also the order quantity is being filtered based on the product name. It is getting filtered based on a product name. So it's happening again because there is a relationship between product as well as sales. What if we do not have a relationship? If the relationship is not there, it is not going to entertain the filter context. I'll show you one example. If I go over here into the modeling view, you will notice that customer, right? Customer and territory don't have any relation. It is actually related through a shared fact table, but as I've discussed earlier into the modeling view, that filter is not flowing up. It is just streaming down. So now, no, it won't be able to control it. This territory won't be able to control the customers table, right? And based on that, I want to show you, suppose I'll come over here and I'll search for country, right? I'll simply drop the country into the rows. Let me just remove the product name, and because territory and sales are connected, that is why I'm getting the correct order quantity. But the moment I'll drop something else along with this, you will notice it won't give us the correct result. Suppose I'll just put annual salary, annual income in the values. It is supposed to break it down based on the country, right? But the moment I drop it over here, you will notice I'm getting the same value throughout, which is actually the total income, because country, or you can say the territory table and the customer table, both are the dimension table, and these two are not directly connected. These are connected through a shared fact table, that is sales. But the problem is that in both the cases, filter is flowing downstream. So there is no way that territory is controlling the customers table. This is what I wanted to discuss over here, right? So this is what we call the filter context. One more concept here we need to discuss, that is known as row context. What is row context? It's very simple, where a calculation is being derived based on the row wise calculation. So the calculated columns that we created, remember, that is a row context. Okay, that is a row context. So that is quite simple, which you may have noticed in the previous videos. We calculated all these values, like total quantity we calculated, or if I just go to the sales table, you may have seen that we have calculated revenue. How we have calculated revenue? It was simply price into quantity, these two columns. So it is performing row wise calculation. That's a row context which has been applied onto the data. So these two concepts are really very important once we'll jump into the measure. And ultimately you will notice that filter context is something that you're gonna face a lot. And once you have the clarity right now, you won't be able to distract with any doubts later on. So that is the reason I have just posted this video over here. I believe you understood these two concepts. So from the next video onwards, we are going to talk about different measures which will change your perspective entirely towards the DEX functions, and you will see the power of DEX functions. Thank you.